Did you think we were live right there? We are now. Round 2. Alright, this is episode 2, the first one we deleted for reasons known only to us. Um, then I got this little so this is the best flavor of Celsius, by the way, for all my Celsius enjoyers. The cola flavor, that shit goes crazy. I know, oh, that would be a great sponsor. I want 8 Sleep as a sponsor. I heard that shit is fire. I've actually, like, you know what I'm saying? I've heard amazing things. I've never tried, but I've heard, like, everybody who buys one, there's I don't know, I feel like they're yeah, yeah, it's but you because you know you're supposed to ideally, I think you're supposed to be, like, 67 or 68 degrees, like, room temperature when you're sleeping, and it helps regulate your body. And a lot of, like, the health, like, hacking experts and stuff I've seen swear by it, but, they're quite cooling blankets? No, I mean, I've seen of, like, heavy blankets, like, weighted blankets, but not cooling blankets. How does it cool you down? It just, like, puts it's like a shiny silver kinda thing. Yeah, I know what you're yeah. That's another benefit of, like, exploring space is all there's, like, so many, like, adjacent technologies that come from space exploration. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah, and he did it by, like, by, like, nanotechnology, nuclear fission, like, all these different ways to do it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think you know what would be dope if one day we get to, like, a Dyson sphere, so we're, like build, like, a big ass sphere around the sun and just harnessing that shit. That would be so crazy. Hmm. Like, sending yeah. If I mean, that wouldn't surprise me if you look at some of like what the biotech companies have done, pay off like huge fines or like there's even reports in I think right after we developed the atomic bomb of the government coming in. I think it was Mark Andreessen who went to like some government official who said like they started outlawing like areas of physics because it got too crazy and they didn't want to they wanted to keep it dark. So there's a lot of interesting shit out there. Do you want to start? I was going to say, do you want to start? You came prepared with a lot of like good topics that I think we could riff on about for like forever. Uh huh. Yeah. Ah, interesting. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, the, like, electric power Rogan had one of those dudes on, and then dude, those big, like, pillars or cavities that they discovered with some, like, new imaging technique, and then I've seen a lot of people dispute it. I still don't know how real it is. Like, I mean, they're real scientists who published the paper, but I'm still not 100% sure on, like, if that's factual because, they had Zahi Hawass who completely denied it, but these are real scientists who published this study, so yeah. I think the Gobekli Tepe is probably the biggest question mark right now, and like you've seen that like they're planting trees on top of it, bro. The Turkish government came in, or I think it was actually, anyways. Turkish government's being super weird about it, but I think the locals who own the property are planting trees on it because they're being forced to sell the land and they want to sell like raise the property value or something. But I guess, and I didn't know this before, but when you plant trees, and it makes sense on top of ancient ruins, like the roots will go in and like fuck them all up, and like it's a really good way to not get any more of it excavated. And they've done scans and they say Gobekli Tepe is very, I mean, I think it's like at the single digit percentage excavated. Um, so it's in Turkey and it's an ancient site. And I think they've dated it to what, about 12,500, 13,000 years ago, something like that. And there are megalithic structures with astrological aligned, um, you know, uh, pillars and carvings on the stone. And the reason it's interesting and unique is because, according to traditional archaeology, humans were still hunter gatherers at that time, and it also aligns with the Younger Dryas period. It also aligns with um, exactly, exactly, and yeah, yeah, yeah. When they did like kind of like one of those like cutouts, you get those ant hills as a kid, and you could kind of see all the layers and little pods and stuff. And yeah, yeah, I, yeah. I think to your point, kind of like to build on that. If you're living in the Greek times and the ancient Egyptian times, your entertainment is like hallucinogens and looking at the night sky. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like or the Mayans and the Aztecs with their calendars. And so it makes sense. A lot of their effort and development was probably completely different than ours. It wasn't atoms. It was more spiritual, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I completely agree. It's like it's ridiculous to me when you see the difference of like the night sky in a place with no light pollution. I'm in San Diego. Yeah, 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 yeah. Right. Ah, yeah, yeah. I see what you're saying. Interesting. I didn't. Yeah, that's. Yeah, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. Devil. Right. Mm, I see. Okay. That's cool. Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Mm, okay. Damn. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. So it's like no, that's sick. Like even going back to like the dragon in the night, and, with scorpion. There's scorpions that half birds, half scorpions that go Begli and Tepe. By the way, I remember taking a class at Penn, and I think it was folklore or something like that, and it touched on some aspects of that, but it didn't get that deep. It was more like just more recent, like Western type shit. But but that's super interesting. there's a s- there's a sword in my game, one of my video games I play, World of Warcraft, that's called Lightbringer, and it's like a really powerful sword. Yeah, yeah. Migs still hasn't seen Game of Thrones. Yeah, yeah. Oh, oh, yeah, yeah. He's multiple layers right there that he's kind of creating in his own little universe. Yeah. Token. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sides. Yes, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like the way they, yeah, exactly. Like before the Super Bowl, you'll see kind of like a 5 minute highlight of like the team season, or whatever. Like just building up the story to make it more monumental. Yeah. Makes it more relatable. 100%. 100%. The, the only thing that I came to the pod I don't even know if we even got into, like, our first subject. We kind of just, like yeah. Mhm. No. Okay. Let me peep them on, I'm gonna peep them while you're talking. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. 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 Okay. Right. Sure. Right. Right. That's when you were saying that I pulled up his Wikipedia and it says like towards the bottom it does talk about his kind of his theory of consciousness and it looks all recent and stuff and yeah he's talking about the quantum and everything. It's in the new well I guess it's not new anymore but in the most recent White Lotus series which is like a TV show that I like to watch there was a they one of the characters visits a Buddhist temple, and he describes there's a scene and I forget the explicit details, but there's a scene where he's like, your life is like a drop of water splashing out from the ocean, and upon your death, you go back into the ocean and you're kind of back into the consciousness. And right, Oh, that's sick. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah. You Well, I mean, I think, you know, you have a cat and a dog. I have 2 cats, and then you kind of, like, see how they act around, like, a bird or, something like that, or, like, you watch videos online of, like, a cat and it's like, a mongoose and a snake, like, a age-old battle, shit like that, and then it kinda yeah, yeah, they're dope. They're sick. Yeah. I, speaking of cool animals, man, there's a Greenland shark who, like, lives in the Northern Atlantic Ocean, and he's, like, 700 years old. Like yeah, he's, like, I don't he anyway, he's, like I might be exaggerating, he's, like, 500 to, like, 700 years old. So, like, he was they're like they're like, this dude was saying, like, what's good to the landers at Plymouth in the 1600s, like like, he's been through world wars, everything, man. Animals are I love animals, they're so cool. Before b bro, I don't know, but I know sharks were here before trees, and that doesn't sound right in your head, but that's true. That's yes, look, I promise you, I promise you. Yeah, sharks were here, I think oh, yeah, let's do watch. I'm gonna for what? Dinosaurs? Look, how about sharks? What does it say for sharks? 500 million, probably. Let's see. 400 million years. All right. How about trees? Or you say like, yeah, 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 yeah. You look at, it's been very interesting to see. There's like talking about the period when we went from like monkeys to humans like really quickly, and I supposedly fire has been a big part of that because of like cooked food quicker, so we spent less time processing food and more time like learning or something like that. There was like some weird dynamic going on there. uh, the leading belief, right? Yeah, right. In Gobekli Tepe, and you know this, they all got their little purses and handbags, bro. Every in all those depictions. I've looked into, well, I know a lot of Graham Hancock's about like a lot of origin stories have like seven figures that like arrived from the water or the heavens and they spread their knowledge. I know about that. I don't know like deeper specific ones though. Yeah, with the naked eye. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I really want, speaking of the stars, I want to visit Petra, Jordan, and like camp out there for the stars. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, yeah, I have to. I have to do that. Really? An hour flight, that's not bad. Okay. Oh, that's yeah. Dude, if you can, I would definitely do that. I know Rogan, he said he went like some I think there's an observatory in Hawaii. He said that was really good up there. Um, but yeah, I mean an hour away is a lot better than, having to fly to Jordan. So I would take advantage of that. Yeah. 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 I don't like in the medieval times, that's how the stories were, like on that little like kind of half thing that would go back and forth or whatever. Um yeah, yeah, I want to do that. I have a telescope. I need to like once we get but it's so much light pollution, but I need to get that thing. Oh yeah. 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 The light candles. Yeah, light pollution. Light pollution. I need to do like you just you feel better. It's kind of like that summer. It's summer, obviously here. Yeah, you just feel clean. You feel better. You get that vitamin D. Some salt water. It's just like you feel alive. Yeah, yeah. You could walk there for sure. At least jog there. Yeah, oh, that's good. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh yeah, it's a big. I think we talked about it on the other one, but having being with the sole person responsible, not like co-managing. No, I want to say co-managing, but co-raising or parenting an animal, but being the sole person responsible, like putting food on the table. Yeah, Yeah. 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 I You meeting a lot of interesting people? Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a fine line sometimes, man. There's a fine line. And then you got there's a lot of busters out there, man. There's a lot of busters. But yeah, it's funny like I think being introverted, I feel like the world is more extroverted or like caters to or rewards extroverts more than introverts. And to a certain extent. I think there's a lot of good qualities of introverts, but it's interesting navigating kind of what you prefer, what is your ideal night or what is your like typical night versus some other friends. And then it's also looking at how you grow through that throughout your life because that's certainly changed. And then like one of my best friends who just had a baby, and so he's always at home with the baby, not seeing his friends as much, but he still makes time. But we'll still go on a camping trip and drink a bunch of beer. So it's been interesting, kind of like navigating that. People are at different stages in their life, and they're different, completely different people. So yeah, 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 exactly. Yeah, it was funny, man. He brought him to one of the Anthony's graduation party, and he was cool. His name is Milo. He was just bullying. He was cooling, man. And it was good to see him. Like that was my first time seeing him. I was like, "I'm Uncle Dylan. Nice to meet you." Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, right. Yeah, 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 yeah. I agree. The carrot and the stick. You can't forget the stick sometimes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think you have to have both. I think having a healthy balance, not like 50-50, but yeah, 90-10 or whatever. And I think it'll be interesting because my 90-10 or your 90-10 might be, you know, your partner's 80-20 or something. And so like how do you play off? Is like one person always good, one person always bad? So there's a lot of like I feel like there's a lot of interesting dynamics that I haven't really thought about. Yeah. 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 No, not at all. It's like like moral relativism where it's like an idea that the most like the best thing to do is always like the right thing to do is always the best thing to do. Like not necessarily. And that's kind of like I don't want to get into politics, but my problem with the left is like, should you should you be deporting illegal immigrants who are not breaking the law, or what I'm saying? So it's like a fine line. It's like, yeah, you probably don't want to separate them from their families, but it's also technically the right thing to do. It'll probably benefit the country in the long term. So there's like a bunch of like interesting things there where it's like the best thing to do for a person is sometimes not apparent, or so there's a lot of like different ways to interplay there. Yeah, you can't be when you're running a country, you can't be nice 100% of the time. That's how you get walked all over or you get conquered by the neighboring tribe. You have to have some sort of, hey, this is the law and we have to follow the law and there's a reason for it. Dude, I saw the optimal tribe size is like 150 people. I read that. I think Sebastian Junger's book had something called. There's a book called Tribe or something like that, and I think that's what I saw in the book. Yes. Yeah. 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 Well, yeah, and it's you have to do both because if you don't, then you end up too far, and then you're in communism, or if you go too far left, or fascism. If you go too far right, and then you're Stalin or Hitler or Mao. Oh yeah, it's like you're like Fox and CNN. It's ridiculous. Yeah, probably for the best. Yeah, yeah, and it's not. Yeah, it's definitely not healthy for you if you're immersed in it. And it's like you said, it's two versions of the exact same thing. Something happened that's factual and that like actually happened, and then it's Fox News said this, CNN said this, and it's just echo chambers on both sides. It's and if you can't, which worries me, if you can't agree on like base reality and truth, that's a problem. That's going to erode like the fabric of the civilization. So yeah, yeah, yeah. I think a lot of those great empires from history had a lot of internal struggles that really led to their demise. And then it's funny when you look at history too. I notice. Well, I didn't notice this, but I read this somewhere. Civilizations that right before they kind of ended, or like have had their peak, and then right before they ended, they all like gender and like identification always became a big part of the discourse, internally. So I thought that was super interesting to see. Openness and the free flowing debate. Yeah. 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 Yeah, bunch of try. You know, it'll be interesting. If we get to Mars, Elon wants to start his own like new form of government on Mars. I think like a direct democracy. So like it'll be interesting to see what happens. But there are small groups. It's yeah, right, right. I they got 1+ billion, I think, in China right now. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, it's funny because you see a lot of like politicians or people in positions of power who are like sometimes, and I'm not saying, you know, I probably wouldn't be able to do a better job than them. I think maybe I could, but like some of them are just like dumbasses. They're just like, what the fuck is going on? You know? I see. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's no, I mean, we saw that at Penn too, like with Biden's granddaughter went to Penn, Trump's daughter went to Penn. You know, Trump and yeah, yeah, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised, bro. I wouldn't be surprised at all. That would be so sick. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The security. I remember like the snipers on the rooftop and everything. Uh, yeah, it was 2016. Was it 2016? Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, it's summer of 2016. That was. Yeah, yeah. All right, I have a question for you. If if you can go back in time to one, it has to be one place and one like time period. Where would you be? And it can't be ancient Egypt because I feel like that's like I feel like that's like a common answer. That's a cop out. That's it. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh yeah. There's a lot going on. Yeah. It probably yeah looks so different, man. So different. Uh, I did watch that Luke Caverns video that you sent me on the Nazca lines. Yeah. 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 Right. Yep. Y yeah. 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 Oh, it worked? Yeah. Oh, shit. Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that's a really good theory, and I haven't thought of that before, and I don't even think that was something that was had been suggested by Luke or anybody that I've seen, so Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well, you have yeah, yeah, they had to be like, that was their form of entertainment, you know what I'm saying? Like we were talking about earlier. Yeah. That's such a shame that happened. Yeah, yeah, right. Man, that I think, you look at, like the ayahuasca in the Amazon, which I think another crazy thing. And then Rogan had, I forget his name, but the Eleusinian mysteries were, like on those ancient Greek wine pots, they would find ergot kind of like laced into those wine pots, which when you mix it, it creates a hallucinogenic experience. And so, when they would go consult the oracles at Delphi or like go to these Greek islands and they would go to the temples, they would imbibe these mixes and have visions and it's just it's crazy. And then like in 300 they had to get approval to go to war. Yep, yep. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I mean, right. Caffeine. Yeah, yeah. That's the most popular drug. Yeah. Um, Celsius. Yeah. Have you tried it? Have you tried a Zen before? Yeah, yeah. The hookah part, yeah. Yeah, yeah. For me, I tried a Zen one time, and it was so disgusting, man. It was like, ugh. It was way too strong, and then but I mean, I know there's a lot of people here in the States, in the South who love it, like baseball players. Yeah. It's like a cultural thing. It's a cultural thing too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's just a different form. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then you had that meme that I sent you with, like, Gandalf with the pipe, before then it was that big old pipe. You know what I'm saying? I wanna you know what went, like, unbelievably hard is, um, the Vatican's uniforms for these priests and stuff, like the red and the whites and the golds, they are fitted. They Oh my god, those robes are just, like, interlaced with, like, gold weave and everything, man. They're beautiful, man, beautiful. I was like, "Wow, that was sick." So Chicago White Sox fan. Yeah, exactly, a counterbalance, yeah, yeah. Yeah, those I'm uh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 100%, and it's very grassroots too. I'm interested, like, uh, yeah, yeah, Vatican Vatican City. Yeah, I'm I'm down. I want to learn more about like the Freemasons and like Knights Templar and uh, what's that item they're supposedly hiding in some African country? Is that Covenant? Um, no, no, it's yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. Man, I like all these ancient items that would be. I tried to buy like I almost bought like I almost bought a Spartan pottery bowl online from like a Greek website that's authenticated by like Greek archaeologists, but it was like $2,000. I was like, oh, dude, it's like it's so I would love to, but it's not worth it, man. I mean, one day I'm gonna get that, but yeah, just right, not right now. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Dude, we're still dude, I mean, that was what, an hour 15, and we're still pretty surface level with some of these. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of cou we'll try to get, like, a better setup as opposed to just going kind of I mean, we're raw dogging it with headphones and yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's a good I think it's a perfect base layer to start. Could cut kind of underlies everything and will allow you to have insight into other areas that we'll probably talk about in the future. Right. Oh yeah. Right. Yeah. That's the Marine base. Yeah. 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 You can look it up online. Yeah. 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 That's interesting. Right. Yeah. 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 Right. The Holy Trinity. Yeah. Yeah. And the same origin stories, the seven adventurers or figures coming and bringing gifts. Yeah. We'll run it back next week then, and then hopefully get into some more detail on some things. Yes, sir. All right, I'm down. All right, man. Good stuff. Love.